Hey guys, happy Valentine's Day. It's Amy, and I've got a few headlines to go over with you this evening um, about gematria and the bullshit that they put in the headlines today for us. So, guys, if you are new here, I am Amy, and I do teach gematria on this channel. We use it to decode the headlines. This is an ancient language that is used in Kabbalah. It's simply the practice of coding letters into numbers. So A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. Then you're going to reverse it. Z equals 1, Y equals 2, X is 3. So you're going to go backwards and forwards. And then you're going to do that same thing and you're going to reduce those numbers down. Basic math they taught you in school, right? So when you get to the 10th letter of the alphabet to reduce it, you would do 1 plus 0 is 1. And then the 12th letter would be 1 plus 2 is 3. So that one becomes 3. And then you're going to reverse it and do the same thing. So those four base ciphers are going to basically tell you everything you need to know about the headlines. So let's go ahead and get started, right? So let's talk about Valentine's Day, right? So what do we do on Valentine's Day? We participate in this ritual every single year because it's an endless cycle, you know, endless cycle of holidays and bullshit and fear, and then a holiday and then bullshit and then fear and a holiday and bullshit and fear. It's just an endless cycle of control, guys. So what day do we celebrate Valentine's Day? We celebrate it on February 14th, which is the day leaving 320 days left in the year. So, if you'll notice, St. Valentine's Day is also called St. Valentine's Day, and it is to honor the Valentine name. And there's several different Roman gods. This one here kind of reminded you of Jesus. According to an early tradition, St. Valentine restored sight to the blind. That's a story that they told us about Jesus. And look, he wears the same hat as the Pope, right? Got the same rod with the snake on top, just like the Pope that we live under today, that we still live under today. So anybody that thinks we got free from Rome is crazy. So we are literally honoring Saint Valentine on February 14th, the day leaving 320 days in the year, and Roman Catholic Church is 320. So this is just another one of their ways to get you to celebrate their satanic gods and participate in it just like you do on Christmas, right? Just like you do on New Year's, because that's technically not a real New Year. If you look it up, I mean, if you just look at the days, like the months and the way they're named, right? October is the 10th month. But yet an octagon is 8. I mean, it makes no sense, guys, right? So we've been fooled our whole lives. But let me just show you the headlines over the past few days, right? So today we got Dianne Feinstein, however you call that crazy woman's name. So she's announced that she's not going to be running for re-election, and it's 264 days before she took office for the anniversary. So she took office on November 4th, and we are 264 days away from her anniversary that this headline comes out, right? She's not going to run for United States Senator anymore. So you can see why, today was her day to come to the stage for her moment in time, right? Because they all have a script that they live by. So we also got the headlines today that Drake was not going to have to go talk to the lawyers over the death of Triple X here. So Drake's wish is officially granted. He will not be grilled by the defense attorney about the murder. Now, I didn't look deep into it, but I did go look at it because I wanted to know if we could find a pattern. As soon as I seen it, I knew. I was like, well, there's no reason going any further. He was killed 220 days before his 20th birthday, or after his 20th birthday. Let's see. No, he was age 20, so he died 220 days after his birthday. And we know that 220 is the brotherhood of death, and death is 20. So the dude's 20 years old, and he dies 220 days after his birthday, right? And then that's his full name, so that's why he was used as a human sacrifice. He was never meant to go big. He was meant to be sacrificed so somebody else could go big. So we also got the headline today of wrestling icon Jerry Jarrett. Now, his son is also a wrestler because if you'll notice, your politicians are sons and daughters of politicians. Your sports leagues are sons and daughters of people that played in the sports leagues, right? Your Hollywood people, sons and daughters. And it's no different with wrestling. So let's talk about this one. So Jerry is the dad. Okay, so Jerry is dead 202 days before his birthday, or a span of 203. Okay, so if you're counting the end date, it's going to be 202 days before the birthday, or if you count the end date, it's going to be 203. So he was known as the wrestling genius, which is 202. Now, if you'll notice, Wrestling Genius is 202 and 76, Skull and Bones is 202 and 76, right? So he had those Skull and Bones connections, which makes sense as to why he's dead this year because it's 2023 and we know that this is the Skull and Bones year, right? He also went by the name when he wrestled the Hawaiian Flash, which equals 73, a number we see a lot in sacrifices. You'll get the hang of it if you're new here, I promise. Now, TMZ made a point to say that he's Jeff's father, right? So this is Jeff. There's the son, who's born on July 14th. And he announces his dad's birthday, or his birthday, Lord. He announces his dad's death 216 days after his birthday, right? So the son has a birthday. 216 days later, he's announcing his dad's dead. 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. Very familiar pattern that we see. Now, his son is signed to All Elite Wrestling. So you remember how I said his dad died 202 days after his birthday, or a span of 203? Well, his son just sacrificed him off, for All Elite Wrestling. So you might want to pay attention to Jeff's career coming up because it's possible that he might do some things. And then here we are on that same thing, the 320 day leaving 320 days left in the year, right? For that Roman Catholic Church. And where do you think we got all of these arenas and cathedral? They're all shaped just like they were back in Roman times. And back then they would say, just give them a circus to occupy them and they ain't going to care. And that's what they do to us. We had the Super Bowl Sunday. We've got poison in the air in Ohio. Nobody gives a crap, you know? So this guy's actually dead 34 days before the anniversary of the founding of this, because he founded the Continental Wrestling Association. And it was founded on March 20th, 320. So he founded his corporation on 320, and then he died on the day, leaving 320 days left in the year. It's 34 days before that anniversary. And that's a number we see all the time too with murder. So 34 days before the anniversary of the founding of his company of March 20th, and he's dead on the day, leaving 320 days left in the year. So we also got Conrad, who's dead. Conrad, he's dead at age 72. He drafted in 72. His name equals 213, like the day he died. So he died February 13th. Conrad, there it is, 213, the day he died. And he's dead at age 72 after he drafted in 72. He was actually the 110th pick for St. Louis Cardinals. And look, St. Louis Cardinals equals 110. So they already knew that what they were going to do to him. Yep. All right, guys. So let's see. This one, we've got the Washington Nationals team owner is dead at age 97. Now, he actually died the same day as the Super Bowl that ended, it was the 57th Super Bowl to end the 103rd season. So he died the same day as the 103rd season was ending on the Super Bowl. His name equals 103. He actually died 121 days from his birthday. which is another pattern that we see a lot with the blood sacrifices. So he's dead 121 days from his birthday, and he's dead on that Skull and Bones Day. There's that 220 again, dead with the Super Bowl. So that's another Super Bowl sacrifice. So we also got the headline of Dave Hollis. He's the former Disney worldwide distribution president, chief, whatever you want to call him. So David Hollis, a former Disney executive who served as the company's president of worldwide distribution. So he's dead at age 47, which we know is a beast number. He was the president of the worldwide distribution. And then look at this guy where they killed him at. So they killed him in Austin, Texas, which matches Jesuit Order 144's Jesuit Order Mark of the Beast. See, there's those 54s, 72s. He actually died on the 12th. So if you look here, the Brotherhood of Death, 220 and 112. He worked for Walt Disney Studio, 220 and 67. Human Sacrifice, 67. Blood Sacrifice, 67. So he died on the 42nd day of the year, and Walt Disney's 42. The announcement actually came on the 44th day of the year, which is his name. So his name equals 44, and he was announced dead on the 44th day of the year. You know, these scripted number patterns that we see every day that nobody can recognize. These gun agendas, I probably shouldn't have said that. I'll probably get struck, but the pew pew agendas, right? They're synced up with every governor. And if you go back on my page, I prove it every one of them. When you see a shooting, go look at the governor or the state official that's in the headline because I guarantee you it's going to be synced up with that official because they are working towards an agenda which is disarming, right? So we have to have these things happen in the headlines in order for the Americans to be like, "Oh no, no more. Stop doing that. Take them," right? Which is what you're seeing happening. So let's take a look at it, right? So they actually released the name of the shooter today. So we've got the black man, school shooter, Black History Month. His name actually has the 56 and the 187, and y'all know 187 is the homicide code. So he's they're letting you know who did this. It's not this dude. It's this people, right? This is not the dude that did it. This is the dude that did it. And that's why they're letting you know they done it. They're letting you know he's age 43, killing Lucifer Masonic 43, right? And then he's dead, so how are we ever going to know, right? So this happened on the 44th day of the year. So we got a shooting 44, Michigan is 44, and it's the 44th day of the year. Same pattern, guys, over and over. So here we go. Look, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer said she is being briefed on the shooting at the university. It's 191 days before her birthday. And what does active shooter equal? 191. And that's how they reported it. Active shooter underway at Michigan State University. And it was 191 days before her birthday. We're also 174 days after her last birthday, which these are the people that are trying to take them. And this is how they're trying to take them. I can't say these words because I'll get banned. So you got to look at the screen, guys. So we're 174 days after her birthday, and we have this and this happening, right? On the 44th day of the year in Michigan, because it's a pew pew, right? Guys, I promise if you'll get these patterns down, it's no different from learning anything else. You got to take the time, understand it, and before you know it, you're going to know these numbers and you're going to be able to read them just like you do when somebody writes a T and a H and a E. You automatically read that as the. You don't have to sit down there and sound that word out anymore. He, e. You don't have to do that. You just know it. You recognize it, right? You know that word is the. You was sounding it out in kindergarten. Now you're reading it like it ain't nothing. So, guys, sit down, figure this out. It's the same patterns over and over and over again. So, look at this one. This is how they do it right here. So, you got the girl that played on the Hills. It's a reality TV show, right? She's announcing the death of her niece today. Sadie Rain Loza is the girl that's dead. She fit a pattern. Her auntie had to do what she had to do, right? For that fame and fortune. Look at Sadie and death, right? So look, who did she have to sacrifice to get this part? Now check this out. The Hills released on May 31st in 2006. That same pattern, guys. It's 107 days before that anniversary that this headline comes out. This is a pattern that we talk about almost every day, the 107 with the sacrifices. Never failed. So we get the headline. Now, she died back in January, but they're releasing it today, and this is why. They hold these headlines for strategic patterns so that you're going to sit at home and be like, oh, I loved her. She was the best actress ever. I love that show. Because you sat your ass on the couch and watched that show. Then you went out and bought the t shirt to it, talked to all your friends about it, gave them ratings. These false idols, right? That's what it is. Just like we just seen Damar Hamlin. They did CPR. What was the whole world doing? Oh, pray, pray, pray. And then the man walks out in the Super Bowl with a monster Jesus sacrificed on a freak on his freaking jacket. And now everybody are like, well, when I prayed for him, it wasn't conditional. When I prayed for him, it wasn't conditional. You're praying for evil. Open your eyes, people. His ritual was a sick ritual too. Go back and look at my video. Go back and read my blog. Every person that you see in the headlines, when their mama dies, their brother dies, their auntie dies, their uncle dies, there's a reason. And it is not organic. It is not like me and you are going to die, right? If I go back and try to decode like my granny's death, I guarantee you it's not going to be. She worked at Eastman. Eastman's going to equal four numbers. The chances of my grandmother dying that many days from where she worked is 1 in a million, right? But yet it happens every single day with the headlines. Every day. Every headline, every sacrifice, same pattern over and over and over. We had four NFL players die in the same week, all 115 days from their draft anniversary, in the same week. And the reason that was is because Masonic, Lucifer, killing, they all equal 115. Four NFL players in the same week, all dead 115 days from a draft anniversary. What is the freaking chances? Guys, wake up and learn to read numbers. Stop falling for this bullshit in the headlines, y'all. All right, I'm out. I'm not going to get on a rant. Love y'all. Catch you on the next one, okay? Have a good evening.